All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to get all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Out here preaching this gospel in sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. This your bro Matazah coming back with another video. And as you can see the title of this article right there at the top, it says robot police dogs powered by AI are taking over the streets of Atlanta, Georgia. You see, so now they are starting to bring these things out, which the prophets have told you that these things were coming, a dystopian society, So they got the robot dogs that's powered by AI. Soon to come, they have the humanoid robots, that look more like humans that are going to be powered by AI as well, that are going to be doing the same thing as these robot dogs, and these robots are going to be used to, apprehend people, chase people down, and so on and so forth. So this is a very dystopian society that we are moving forward to, So let's read a little bit of this article down here. It says, according to a report from Newsweek, 4-legged robotic security units powered by artificial intelligence are now actively patrolling Atlanta streets. And this is going to be everywhere. This is going to be in every major city, and they're telling you exactly what they're going to do. You see they got the police force, police vehicles. They got the robot dogs, and they got the drones that are going to be flying above, with security cameras and so on and so forth that are going to be attached to them, So this is a very dystopian society that we are coming into, more oppression, more control, more surveillance, this is where we are headed. And this is the world that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, this is what he wants for you people, because like Klaus Schwab said, China is the model of how basically they want to run the world moving forward, because over there in China, they have what? They have, super surveillance, they have, the social credit scores and so on and so forth. So if you got a high credit score, social credit score, then you get access to a lot of different things, But if you're somebody that's more on the rebellious side, then you will get a low credit score, which means you get cut out of a lot of things. You get cut out of society and you lose access to a lot of different things that you need, But we know Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is the wicked. So he's going to take this oppression and this type of system to a whole new level, So let's read that again. It says, according to a report from Newsweek, 4-legged robotic security units powered by artificial intelligence are now actively patrolling Atlanta streets, apartments, parking lots, and construction sites. You see? It says these autonomous machines represent a bold push to bolster public safety amid rising concerns over theft and break-ins. And the thing about it is this spike in crime rate is being constructed by this devil Esau Edom, the so-called white man. The higher gas prices, which means that the prices of goods is going to go up as well. And then on top of that, you have this devil replacing everybody as far as their work, their jobs. They're being replaced with AI, which is going to leave them jobless. So you have a great number of people that's over here in America that are struggling, to meet ends financially, which is going to cause them to resort to taking shortcuts. It's going to resort them to having to commit crimes in order to, keep their head above water. So this is what they're pushing forward to. And at the same time, they're pushing for this surveillance as far as these robots and things like that, So it's no coincidence that they have all of these concentration camps, these different sites that ICE is building up, You know, all these large facilities, these holding units that they are going to hold a lot of people in, you know, because it's about to get bad, man. You know, and that's what we're telling you. And we told you that this time was coming where these robots and things of that nature was going to be out in the streets, you know, and here we are today. So it says these autonomous machines represent a bold push to bolster public safety amid rising concerns over theft and break ins. But their rollout has ignited fresh worries about privacy and the expanding role of private technology in law enforcement. And it says a video showing one of the robotic dogs in action has gone viral on social media. In the clip, the mechanical unit stops when a driver honks, turns towards the camera, emits a dog-like sound, and even waves, prompting surprised and amused reactions from onlookers. You know, and I don't have that video for some reason. It's not loading right, but I do have a few videos of these robots in Atlanta, you know, that I got from TikTok, and we'll view that in just a second. But it says the robots developed by companies including Undaunted and Cobalt Robotics navigate predetermined routes using onboard cameras and stream 360-degree footage to remote operators around the clock. It says equipped it with high-definition cameras, lights, sirens, speakers, advanced object recognition, and thermal imaging. The units, dubbed Hound units by Atlanta police, offer a cost-effective, non-stop alternative to human guards. So they got thermal imaging, which means that, you know, it's easy for them to spot human beings because we give off a thermal signature, you know, which means that they can actually see you in the dark as well, you know, so you ain't gonna be able to hide in the dark from these different robots that they have because they use thermal vision, you know. And it says, let's see where I was at. It says operators can intervene in real time or alert authorities when suspicious activity is detected. So you have people that are monitoring these robots as well. And this is something I said in the video a long time ago. I said when it really goes down, and this was before they started to put these robots out on the streets. This is when we was just reading about it, you know, of them having the idea of getting ready to put these robots on the streets. But before they even start putting these robots on the streets, I remember I made a video some years back saying that it's going to be like a video game for these operators, especially when things get real chaotic. You know what I'm saying? Things get real bloody to the point where you start seeing these different robots with, you know, firearms attached to them, you know, snipers, you know, different weapons attached to them. When it gets to that point where they start, you know, unaliving a lot of people, it's going to be like a video game for these operators because they'll be able to tap in and control these AI robots whenever they want to. So if they feel like they need to shoot somebody down, they're going to do it. And it's going to be like a video game to them because you have these robots out on the streets, but here they are far away somewhere in the office looking behind the screen using a remote control like it's a video game, laying people down, you know? So it says operators can intervene in real time or alert authorities when suspicious activity is detected. So you got people monitoring the camera of these AI robots and they can control it whenever they need to. And it says, and it's almost like the what's that car, the Tesla car, I think, where you have the automatic mode where it just self drives, and then when you want to, you can start to control it when you need to. It's kind of like the same thing. It says 4-leg surveillance robots are now patrolling Atlanta apartments, parking lots, and construction sites equipped with cameras, lights, sirens, and speakers. One deployment description noted. And it says, you know, well, I just read that. And I'm probably not going to read this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? You can read this for yourself, which is not really that long. I think it ends right here. You know, but that's pretty much it. Let's get to these few videos that I got on this as well. You know?
Yo,
Y'all, what? Let's rewind it real quick. Y'all, what the hell going on? That bitch say security on it and some more shit, bro. What the fuck going? What that bitch waiting on? The crow walk? What that bitch say? That bitch say stop recording me. No. No, shorty. No. What going on in the A? And like we said, hey, this is going to be everywhere. You know, it's to the point where they're trying to get people used to it now. But wait until they have a whole bunch of these out on the streets in every major city. You know, and we've seen countless videos of them training these things to be able to run through forest, you know what I'm saying, different types of terrain, you know, rocky, you know, you got wet and muddy, you know, you got, you know, a lot of uneven ground training that they put these robots through to be able to chase people in different types of environments, you know. So they got a lot of different things like this. So imagine you see that thing that's at the top that's attached to it. Imagine that being a weapon. You see? So this is what we telling you. No. Oh, man. Y'all folk over with. You don't even need no dog no more. What is they doing? Oh, my God. That bitch stopping it. What is it finna do? Take a shit? Look at that bitch, bro. Whoa, buddy. Oh my God, hey man, hey, watch out, boy. The net one gonna be big as hell. It's gonna be knocking niggas out. See, and Jake just playing games. These people don't have no idea what's coming for them. Hell, all you gotta do is watch Terminator, man. They showing you exactly what's gonna happen in the movie Terminator. It reveals a lot. It actually reveals how America is gonna get taken out as well. Nuclear destruction. You know, it shows you how this current age is going to end, you know, through nuclear warfare as well. And it shows you that AI and robots is going to play a major role in the Heavenly Father's judgment. You know what I'm saying? These very chaotic times that's getting ready to come upon the earth. AI and these robots are going to play a major role, you know?
Man talking. Look at him running. Hello. Say hey to my followers. Say hey to my followers.
Hello followers. My name is Opie. We're the security robot dog in this property.
Y'all heard him. He the security robot dog on his property.
Yeah. Yes.
Can I have a hot five?
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
That's crazy. And it's so funny because all this shit is going to get turned on these people, man. They have no idea.
That's cute.
Yes, what the fuck? Have a good night.
Thank you.
Boy, he running. He getting the fuck on. That motherfucker getting the fuck on. Look how he looking at that man.
And you already know it's going to get to a point where they start to put certain laws on these robots, because you know you got niggas. You always got niggas that's going to do some outlandish shit to the point where they have to push new laws. And one of these laws that they're going to push is you can't damage, you know, you can't touch or interfere with these robots, or it's going to be labeled a crime, because you got YNs that's out there, and we already know it. It's going to get to a point when these robots really start to get put on the streets. They're going to be fucking with them. You know, they're going to be throwing shit at them. They're going to be, you know, whatever Jake going to be doing, you know, trying to break them and destroy them and shit like that, to the point where they're going to pass laws that you can't touch or interfere with these, you know, these robots, you know?
Everything that come in.
He running. That motherfucker running.
He hear everything.
Yeah, he do.
He got in the street, the clock, he moving.
All they doing is just everything is being monitored and recorded out there, motherfucker. Look how fast he walking away. He finna go record some shit. That motherfucker running. Boy, he in that motherfucker charging now. He had to go get him some more juice to patrol.
Oh, so they got self-charging units that they know where to get to. You know, so if they need to charge up, they By themselves, AI just knows where to detect these self-charging units where they can just charge up and get back out on the streets and patrol, after a certain amount of time. And they may switch out with other different units. You know what I'm saying? This one go charge and then another one go out and patrol, So the Esau got it set up, man.
Oh, this is security right now. Hi, oh, it's waving. Oh, this is security right now.
That's crazy. It's responding to the hunks of vehicles, like that article just said, and it turned right towards him. It knew exactly where they was at. It turned right towards them and waved at them. You see? So this is where we at with it, And this is exactly why when things get real chaotic, we're going to need spiritual intervention, So this is Isaiah 59:19. It says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him." So when Esau really starts to come down, with his draconian measures, using robots and super soldiers and, just everything that he has in his vote, when he starts to bring those things forth and they come after certain men that the Lord is working with, then the Lord is going to make miracles happen. Things are going to get brought to a whole new level as far as, prophecies, are concerned. Moving forward, the Lord is going to intervene more and more as this devil gets closer to his end, And one of the ways that he's going to come in like a flood is using these robot dogs, using these humanoid robots and other things that he has, super soldiers and shit like that. And as mortal beings, we can't, fight these things face to face. The Lord is going to have to intervene, and he's going to have to, put us on a different level to be able to fight back against these things that Esau has, whether it's a miracle, a form of escape, that's unexplainable, or whether it's the Lord putting the spirit on you to do certain miracles, do certain things to fight back against this flood that's going to come in against his men, So the Lord is going to make things happen. He's going to make miracles happen for certain men on this earth when these things really start to get dire, when these things really start to get critical, So let's read this real quick, because I said dystopian society, which is probably going to be what I titled this video. It's going to be something that has the word dystopian in it. But let's read this real quick. It says, "What is a dystopian society? Describe one that uses advanced technology." And it says, a dystopian society is a fictional or sometimes cautionary version of a future where things have gone very wrong. And it's not fictional, because we're coming upon one right now, usually involving extreme control, loss of freedom, inequality, or suffering. You see, and all of those things are going to take place, right? Because all of this security, social credit scores, digital money, digital payments, digital infrastructure, that's going to give them extreme control over the people, because they will have access to everything that you need to live. You don't do what they want you to do. What happens? They cut your bank account off. They cut you off from society. That way, you don't have access to anything. That's an extreme form of control right there. It says loss of freedom. You know, you are going to be, forbidden to do a lot of different things, which that's a loss of freedom right there. Inequality, because you're going to have the poor versus the ones that are going to be at the very top, the elites. So it's going to be very unequal. A lot of inequality, the poor versus the elites that are going to be sitting at the top as if they are the most high. And it says suffering, because it's definitely going to be a lot of suffering. It's going to be a lot of suffering, especially while they're trying to, establish this new world. A lot of suffering is going to come behind them trying to establish this dystopian society. You know what I'm saying? Even though Esau is going to get this dystopian society, his plans for it, even though he's going to get it off the ground to a certain degree, he's not going to be able to fully establish it because the Heavenly Father is going to intervene. But a lot of suffering and death and destruction is going to come behind him trying to establish it. It says basically the opposite of utopia. These societies often look organized or even perfect on the surface, but underneath they rely on fear, manipulation, or oppression. And it says, example of a dystopian society using advanced technology. Imagine a city called Neurogrid. Everyone in Neurogrid has a brain implant at birth, and I didn't even say nothing about an implant, but it mentions an implant, which we know that to be what? This RFID chip, the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast device is going to be an implant, not only in your brain, but you're going to have the option of taking one in your hand as well, under your skin, to basically be able to buy and sell, right? It says the government claims it improves life, no crime, no unemployment, no confusion. And that's the things that they're running with right now. And I didn't give it anything to go upon. I just said advanced technology, describe a dystopian society using technology. And this is everything that they've been talking about. It says the implant tracks your thoughts, emotions, and actions in real time. And this is the shit that Esau is trying to do right now. Got people that's walking around with that C19 juice in their system, which that has technology inside of it, right? You know what I'm saying? What do they call it? Nanotech and so on and so forth, which may work with this RFID chip that they're going to implant in people, which may give them the ability to be able to read your thoughts and emotions, and track you in real time, because that's going to happen. Because if you take that RFID chip, that mark of the beast device, then yeah, they're going to be able to track you wherever you are, right? It says total surveillance. It says there are no cameras anymore because you are the camera, which you're going to be the camera, but they are also still going to have actual cameras as well. As you can see from those robot dogs, they have cameras embedded on them. So not only are they going to have cameras, but you are going to be the camera also. It says every thought is monitored. If you even begin to think about breaking a rule, the system flags you. And that reminds you of that movie Minority Report, right? Being arrested for future crimes that you didn't even commit, right? Social scoring system. Your behavior earns points. High scores get you better housing, jobs, and healthcare. Low scores, you are quietly restricted. Slower internet, few job options, eventually isolation. You see that? Emotion regulation. If you feel anger, sadness, or anxiety, the implant automatically suppresses it. People appear calm, happy, but it's artificial. Information control. News and history are constantly edited. The implant filters what you see and hear, so no one knows what's truly real anymore. No true free will. People believe they're making choices, but the system subtly nudges decisions through suggestions, impulses, and even dreams. It says, on the surface, Neurogrid looks like a perfect society, clean, safe, efficient, but individuality, privacy, and freedom are essentially gone. The biggest danger isn't violence. It's that most people don't even realize they're controlled. You see what I'm saying? And what they're trying to do is get rid of people that are on to them, people like us that know what's going on. They're trying to get rid of us, and they're trying to start over with the youth. That way they are used to this type of society. That way they're not fighting back or resisting, because it's basically going to be something that they was bred into, if that makes sense. So let's grab one more article real quick. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but as you can see right here at the top, it says Pentagon's secret project to merge soldiers and machines exposed. It says, as the White House claims, the United States is deploying cutting-edge military technology unlike anything seen before. New details have emerged about efforts to integrate soldiers more closely with machines. And that's Esau's wet dream, is to basically use technology and genetic engineering to upgrade himself to be some type of god, or make himself immortal. That's basically his wet dream. A report released quietly by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, reveals that scientists have been developing a new type of brain-computer interface designed to create a direct connection between military personnel and weapon systems without the need for surgical implants. Often described as the Pentagon's idea factory, DARPA has a long track record of pioneering breakthrough innovations, including the founders of the internet, GPS, and stealth technology, which GPS was created by a so-called black woman. So what Esau does is he takes the idea of Israelites as well as other nations as well. He takes their ideas and he tries to advance them and perfect them and use them as some type of form of weaponry. He tries to use it as a weapon, these different technologies, and he perfects them by stealing these ideas and inventions from different nations and try to use them at his benefit. But he tries to use it on a more weapon style. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but let's see if we can find another good passage real quick. Okay, they go into the futuristic sonic weapon that they used in Venezuela. So, what I'm saying, that's pretty much it. We already know that Esau has a lot of different weapons that he got in the vote that he's going to start bringing out, like that new weapon that I just did a video on that they used in Iran for the first time, that they actually used in combat for the first time, that weapon called the Ghost Murmur that I just did a video on, where it can detect your heart rate, your heartbeat from miles under the ground or miles away. It can just detect your heartbeat wherever you are, which they use AI for that as well. So this devil got a lot of different weapons, and he's getting ready to bring them out as we get closer to the end, So that's pretty much all I'm gonna read on that. Let's grab another scripture real quick, and then I guess we'll get ready to close it out. This is Revelation 12:12, and it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." And that's where it's getting ready to come to. The robot dogs that's being put out on the streets, all this technology that they're starting to bring out, DARPA, talking about super soldiers, technology, and merging it, with human beings and so on and so forth. So Esau is about to get ready to come down with great wrath. We're about to get ready to see a lot of different interesting things in these last days, man, you know, and that's pretty much all we can tell you is brace for impact, you know, because things are about to get crazy. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.